Willie D Live.
What's up, family? So, I went to check out the movie Michael. This after hearing some chatter in the background about Janet Jackson not being missed. If anybody's went to see the movie already, Michael, give me a thumbs up if you think that Janet Jackson was missed. Thumbs up if you think she was missed. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, she wasn't missed. And, it worked out. You know, it was better without her. I'll give you a few moments to think about it. Okay, time's up. Fam, listen. I personally think Janet Jackson would be missed if I did a biopic about myself. It's Janet Jackson, man. How can Janet Jackson not be missed? That said, after watching the movie, I realized that perhaps instead of uh, the question being whether Janet was missed or not, perhaps everybody should be more focused on the movie itself. Was the movie a hit? Did everything work without her? Did it work out without her? And I believe it did. I believe that absolutely Janet Jackson is going to be missed in any capacity. However, that movie, Michael, worked out without her. It still worked without her. Her not being in the movie didn't take anything away from the movie, and that's what people need to understand. Y'all probably hear some noises in the background. I'm downtown Milwaukee right now, and it's loud out there, y'all, in those streets, in those Milwaukee streets. But in any event, I believe that the movie held its own, and that was, the movie. I didn't see I didn't see uh, Diana Ross wasn't in the movie. Also, she wasn't depicted in the movie. So, and that's Diana Ross was a big part of Michael's, come up. But I can understand people saying Janet because Janet is his sister, right? So, and that was unfortunate that they could not get that worked out because everybody knows how close Janet and Mike was. But allegedly, Janet did not want to be in the film. She did not green light it. She didn't like it for whatever reason. She didn't want any parts of the film. So she wasn't in it. They moved on without her. And family, I can tell you that although she was missed, that movie did not miss a beat. It did not miss a beat. Here's your star right here. That is Jaafar Jackson. That's Jermaine Jackson's son. He starred as Michael, and that youngster showed up and showed out. He did his thing. He is on the map for that. That is the role of a lifetime. You cannot portray a bigger pop star than Michael Jackson. And he did that. And the cherry on top is that he's blood. Yeah. I'm talking about this boy. This boy was hitting those Michael Jackson moves like he had been doing it since he was in the cradle. Straight up. He did that. He handled his business. Jaafar Jackson. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of him if that's something that he's passionate about doing, like continuing to act. But yeah, he absolutely nailed that one. If he don't star in another movie ever, he got his big break. That's the one. You can't top that. Put it like this. That'll be hard to stop. Perfect casting. Another perfect casting was Nia Long. Nia Long as Michael Jackson's mother, Catherine. That's Catherine to the left. That's Nia Long on your right. Look at that casting. They were spot on with that one. And Joe Jackson, played by Coleman Domingo. That was a good one. I mean, he killed it. I mean, he killed it. Scared some people in the theater, though, when he was whooping Mike. Boy, they put the sound effects in them ass whoopings, man. They was like, damn, Mike, hold on, Joe. You ain't got to do all that, man. Just talk to the boy. But Joe put belt to ass, man. It seemed like if it went like they say it did, if it went like it was depicted in the film, because sometimes they exaggerate for dramatization, right? Uh, if it went exactly like that, I would say, even though he got what he got out of Mike, I think he was too hard on the boy. I don't. I think that but hindsight is 2020. It's possible that Mike may not have became the star that he became if not for that type of pressure. But at the same time, what did it do to him as a human being? Yeah, it was good for us, the entertainment side. It worked out for us because we saw, you know, we had the opportunity to witness the greatest performer that ever lived. We saw magic. Uh, when Thriller came out, I remember when Thriller was going to premiere on television. I was in middle school, and everybody, the whole nation, pretty much was at home in front of the television, waiting on it to come on. And when it came on, he did not disappoint. It was a big old campaign behind it, and people were sitting in front of television watching it like it was the Super Bowl. It wasn't just a regular program and somebody on TV. No, it was Michael Jackson. It wasn't the Grammys. It wasn't the MTV musical. It was Michael Jackson premiering his video Thriller. In fact, I think I think they premiered it on MTV if I'm not mistaken. Remember, MTV was hating on black artists for a long, long, long time. They never played a black artist. They had a policy not to play black artists. And in the film, they showed the communication between the CBS label head and the head guy at MTV for programming at that time, and where he gave him an ultimatum. He said, "Man, if you don't play Beat It, if you don't play that song within the next 10 minutes, I'm going to pull all my CBS acts from you," which included Bruce Springsteen and a lot of other A-listers, big time artists at that time, right? And still are big time. So it shows the fight, even Michael Jackson being the biggest and the baddest and the artist with the most album sales in history, even he had his own struggles. Even he faced, bias and racism within the music industry. He had to knock down doors. Even in the 80s, he still was knocking down doors in the 80s. But anyway, so they did a great job casting. Also, here's somebody y'all might not have noticed. Dion Cole played Don King in the film. So it took me a while to catch my snap. I was looking at because they man, the makeup they put on him was, they did a good job on making him up and making him look very, very natural. It didn't look like he had makeup on. It looked like he was really that shade, because Dion is a light-skinned dude and Don King is brown skinned, a darker. And they made Dion look the part. So he did that. Another role. Now, this one right here, Lorenz Tate playing Barry Gordy, knocked it out the park. His expressions when he was watching the young Michael Jackson, when he was coaching him, he's in studio coaching him, first of all. And then he was listening to him sing, and I think he was singing Who's Loving You. I think it was either that or some other very, very mature song for anybody to sing, let alone a 10-year-old. The expressions that he was using, I mean, it was like, I felt that. Like, this was a great film. This was a great film, perfectly casted, great actors all the way around. The sound was incredible. The cinematography was incredible. This was really, really a good film. And if you have not seen it, You need to go watch it. I heard some people saying something about, well, why they didn't show the stuff about the allegations of sexual abuse and all this type of stuff. The cap was 1988, so it took his life from childhood up to 1988. So those allegations came after 88. 1988. So those allegations came after 1988. So that's why they didn't talk about that or none of the other stuff or even Michael's death. None of that was talked about in the film. And it didn't need to be talked about. I'm seeing a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people who claim to be Michael Jackson's friends or second family coming for him now, trying to say Mike did this, Mike did that. In my opinion, they're liars. They were liars then and they're liars now. They're trying to eat off this film. They're trying to eat off Mike's legacy. They're trying to eat off his estate. And as far as I'm concerned, they can starve to death. Because I don't believe Mike did none of that. If he did, he absolutely would have been arrested because the FBI investigated him for 10 years straight. The FBI don't investigate nobody for 10 years and don't get a return on their investment. You think they didn't want a return on their investment? If they had something on them, they absolutely would have arrested him. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.